Hey everybody. Happy Wednesday. Um Man, I don't even really know where to begin with this one. It's some interesting information. Okay, so all right. So we're going to talk about the false matrix and what in the world is that? Right? People talk about the false matrix and simulations and programs, and so I was guided to get by my team of guides. I was asked to dive into this a little bit more so that I could get a good explanation of what exactly all this means. So that's what I did. And so I am going to share that information with y'all today. I got some notes here, so if you see me looking down, it's just making sure I got everything. So, all right. And just bear with me because this might be this information might be a bit like, oh, I don't know. I don't want to say your head, but like a friend of mine is always a friend of mine says this is so above my pay grade about some of the things that I talk about. So I don't know, but just hang in there, okay? And if it doesn't resonate with you, it's all good. Just leave it here, but it's for somebody that's listening. So all right. So let's talk about Earth and humanity. So Earth is a program, and Source, all that is the program developer. Now, I clarified because when I think of a program, I think of a computer, right? A computer program. Because back before I was a kid, back when a Mac screen was this big and we had an IBM computer and those were computer programs, we didn't have apps. So I think a lot of people, when we talk about programs, we think about a computer. And so, in that, when people start thinking about Earth as not real, right? There's a computer program running. So, hang on to those two thoughts there. So, Earth is a program, and Source, all that is the program developer. When we talk about the program, that's the same thing as what people refer to as the matrix, which is also the same thing that people call a simulation, and is also the same thing that people refer to as the Earth School. Okay, so these are all interchangeable, and none of them are correct or incorrect. Okay, they're just people use different language. They get their downloads from different sources. Also, our humans have to make sense of the information that we get as downloads, and so sometimes it's just a different word or phrase makes more sense to that person. Okay, so realizing that the program is the matrix, is the simulation, is the Earth School. Okay, it's all the same. But when we hear the word simulation, that to me sounds fake, right? That it's not reality, that it's not real. So, what they wanted me to share is that the program and Earth, it is not a simulation in that it is real. Okay. So, yes, some people refer to it as a simulation, but if they're they if the by simulation they mean it's not real, then no, that's not correct. Okay. So, there's that. All right. So also, not only is Earth, it's not just Earth that's a program. The Pleiades, Arcturus, Arcturians, the Pleiadians, Mentakans, all programs. Okay. Again, all real. Okay. Think of the program or a program more as a creation. So we have the program and the program developer. The program developer has created, the creator has created, right? Made a creation. Okay, so there were programmers that helped implement the program. Okay, there are programmers that helped implement the program. Okay. During the time of Atlantis, our Earth program got hacked, essentially. If we're using this program developer, programmer analogy, essentially, we got hacked, okay? The program was inverted. Distortions infiltrated our energy fields, and the false matrix was born. Okay, I'll repeat that. The program, during the time of Atlantis, our Earth program got hacked. The program was inverted. Distortions infiltrated our energy fields, and the false matrix was born. And that's when I would say shit went sideways. Ever since then, we've been, man, I should say it's been like an uphill battle trying to find our lights, trying to climb out of this false matrix, this world of duality. And in this false matrix, we've been experiencing endless traumas, and those traumas have been impacting our energetic field as a soul, which we then carry into our current lifetimes, the current lifetime, and it affects our bodies, it affects our being, how we operate, it's not just when we are born and the families that we're born into that affect that, it's past lifetime traumas and experiences. It might not even be a trauma, but it's just a relationship in a previous lifetime where there was guilt that one person had for something that happened. And then that brings in entanglement into this lifetime. And so we've essentially been trying to work out we've been playing out these programs, these false matrix programs, and trying to get back to our original blueprint, the original program. So let's talk a little bit about some examples of false matrix programming. Okay. So let's say that there's somebody that is, every time that something gets brought up to them, like presented to them about like, hey, I really don't love it when you do this, or just they're asked a question and they blow up, or they get defensive, or they storm off. They have absolutely, they're defensive. So that defensiveness is false matrix programming. But then they go even further to say, well, I was never taught how to react appropriately. I was never, my parents never taught me this, that, or not how to express my emotions appropriately, or what have you. That is also false matrix programming. It's a story. It is a story that we tell ourselves. Where we can break that programming is to say, well, why don't I just change it? Why don't I react differently instead of keep reciting this programming that, oh, this is the way it is because I was never able to do this and I was never able to do that. And so change it. So change it. It's not impossible. And so recognizing that it's a pattern, recognizing that you want to change it, now helps you break free from that. And then we reprogram it. So we have, as a collective, we are trying to raise our frequency, find our true selves, unity consciousness, finding oneness, that frequency of joy and unconditional love. But then there's also the individual components. Like, we are also trying to break our own false matrix programming and return to our original divine blueprint within ourselves, who we're truly meant to be, our authentic true self. And then there's also people that are doing work behind the scenes to identify the false matrix programmings within the programs within the systems, and then dismantling them and reprogramming them to where they were originally supposed to be. And I'm sure there's other kinds of work too that's being done. Those are just what I'm familiar with. So all that being said, I didn't realize until earlier today why my team was bringing forward this information, and having me dive deeper into it, but it makes sense now. So this coming Sunday, June 28th, like 6 p.m. at 6 p.m. Eastern time, I'm going to be hosting a live online event. If you can't make it, you can also purchase the recording later, but it's Galactic Gathering 1.1. If you're seeing this video far into the future, this is still relevant, okay? Because it's timeless. It's a timeless message. It's a timeless event. So it'll still be relevant at that time. So if you feel called to purchase the recording or attend the event, fantastic. So in this event, we're going to be going in on an individual level and identifying false matrix programming that needs to be dismantled, and so that we can return to our original divine blueprint of ourselves. And chances are we're probably going to do some collective work too, because the last two events I've had, there's been an individual component and then also a collective component to it. So they don't show me everything, but they have shown me that much. So if you get some tingles, if you feel a little bit activated by this, or you're just curious, or you feel called to please join me this Sunday at Galactic Gathering 1.1. All right, everybody. So much love to you all. I hope to see some of you at the event. And yeah, all right. Take care, everybody.